Welcome back to the Banganator podcast, brought to you by your host, Esley Banga, Season 2, Episode 25. And this episode, I'm talking Dallas Stars versus Colorado Avalanche in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs with D-Train and Scotty L of the Out of Office Bros podcast, where they talk everything Colorado sports. How y'all doing?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. Thank you. A lot better that now the series is tied 1-1.
Yeah,
I'm doing good, Esley.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. These are not prime shades, by the way. Those are too expensive, so I just bought these that look like them, and they were way cheaper.
I love them. They're sick.
Appreciate it.
We were talking about you on our podcast last night, actually.
Oh, really?
After game one, we were like, should we hop on his podcast? Like, what happens if game two goes our way as well? Are we just going to go onto his show and just talk mad shit? Or are we going to go tied 1-1 and this is going to actually be a fun conversation?
Yeah. Glad it's a fun conversation now that it's tied 1-1. And I never duck from smoke. So even if we were down 0-2, I would gladly receive the smoke, in sports.
That's a true fan right there.
Yeah. Never
that.
duck from it. Yeah. So let me ask y'all, how did y'all become such diehard fans of Colorado sports? Denver Nuggets, Colorado Rockies, even though they're doing bad right now, Denver Broncos, University of Colorado. Y'all be repping everything.
Yeah, so I can start here. Born and raised in Colorado, up in northern Colorado, about an hour-ish north of Denver. It gets ingrained to you out here. We have a really underrated fan base, and people just gravitate towards our sports. We see it with even the Broncos being down pretty bad right now.
Yeah.
We're still selling out. Avs, from the day they got here in '96, they started selling out. They had the longest record for a sellout streak in the NHL up until a couple years ago. CU Buffs, that's obviously the only Power 5 team here.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make sure that we were going to rep them. And then we ended up going off to CU. I studied political science economics, but started working in sports.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I worked for the basketball team there, the women's team. Then I also worked for the Broncos during Peyton Manning, the Avs after I got out of school, had a stint with the Nuggets. So nice. I've been Colorado sports through and through.
Nice. Awesome. What about you?
And then my story is the same as Scotty L's. Growing up in Colorado, it's ingrained in you. You just become a very good fan just because your parents are. You have family members that are. My aunt and uncle, they've had season tickets for the Denver Broncos since they were in their old stadium in the 60s. So I've been going to those games since I could walk, So the Broncos have always just been in my blood. And then when I got into CU and and enrolled for my sophomore year, I actually tried out and made the mascot team where I was Chip the Buffalo for the university.
Nice.
So just get to travel with the teams, and our very first year in the Pac-12, the men's basketball team won the tournament, and I was the mascot that was in suit for that entire run. So I was in Vegas for 7 days just watching basketball.
That's freaking badass. Yeah, y'all got such cool stories. Like, damn, nice.
Pretty unique for sure.
Yeah.
And we're a couple of pre-prime Colorado Buffaloes.
I could definitely tell. Yeah. I knew that y'all were not bandwagon. Y'all were like down for real.
We love the bandwagon though. It's finally cool.
Okay, yeah. Cause me, Texas Longhorns fan, but Prime, like I love to root for him. I was rooting for him whenever he was at JSU. And then I just love to root for him, his sons, Travis Hunter at Colorado, and I want to see them succeed. And now that Texas is out of the Big 12, I hope that somehow Coach Prime can run the Big 12, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be a good league, and hopefully the Longhorns and the Buffs can meet maybe in the CFP someday. That'd be
badass. Yeah, that'd be badass. For me. When it comes to DFW sports, my mom moved here in the U.S. because she was born in Congo in Africa.
Okay.
And so my uncle had already moved in the U.S. here in Texas, in like the 70s or 80s, something like that. So whenever she moved here, she moved in with him. He already knew about the Dallas Cowboys, so he taught her everything about the Dallas Cowboys. So she witnessed the triplets and everything. Ever since then, she's been a diehard fan. So, when I was born, after my dad came here, they got married, and I was born, became a diehard fan, by default because of parents. And so, yeah, now I rep, basically everything DFW sports, pretty much y'all's equivalent. So Cowboys, Mavs, Rangers, Stars, yeah.
But Esley, were you even alive during the Cowboys Super Bowl runs?
Damn, I
and
wasn't.
Championships?
I wasn't.
No.
I'm 26 years old. I was literally born a year after they won.
Just on the
last
cusp,
Super Bowl.
yeah, on the cusp.
Yeah, shaking my damn head, shaking my.
Yo, that's a true fan. That's a true fan right there, though.
Yeah, because like I'm starting to get pissed, like more and more pissed off every year. And at least y'all, the back-to-back Super Bowls in the 97, 98.
Yep,
Exactly.
you got it.
The 2015 Super Bowl against the Panthers.
Yep, Von Miller, baby.
Yeah. And then the Denver Nuggets, just what last year? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So y'all witnessing success. But luckily the Dallas Mavs won in 2011. I don't even know how we got through that playoff run. We were just like the team of destiny that year. And then,
Dirk.
Yeah. And then with my Rangers finally getting through, winning it last season, I was so hyped. And like as an adult, like I could fully enjoy a championship parade. And I started drinking like 10 a.m. and didn't stop till 5 p.m.
That's the best part about those parades. Yeah.
Not a parade unless you start early and really get after it. That's how you got to celebrate a championship.
Exactly. I finally got to experience what y'all did.
Hey, love it. Love it.
And at least you're not an Astros fan, man. I don't know if I could hop on the pod with you if you were an Astros fan instead. So
yeah, cheating asses.
Yeah.
like y'all, I get so much smoke still from Astros fans that are salty just from us winning one.
Yeah. That's their fan base.
Yeah. Toxic.
Dude. Well, the whole city of Houston's just toxic. Not to shit on Houston, but like Dallas is chill. Houston, you just don't want to go to.
Yeah. I love it though. I'll gladly clap back and talk mess to anybody who be clapping back at me.
Damn right.
So let's get into this Stars versus Avs series. So game one, let's talk about game one first before we get to last night's game. Game one, Avalanche win 4-3 in overtime.
Boy, was I jazzed up.
Oh my gosh. So in the first period, Ryan Suter scored for the Stars, making it 1-0. Wyatt Johnston scored, making it 2-0. And Wyatt Johnston's only 20 years old. He's been hella impressive in the first round and the second round. And then Jamie
he's gonna
Ben,
be a problem.
Yes. And then Jamie Ben scored 3-0, making it 3-0, the captain. So whenever y'all were down 0-3, what was y'all's mindset? And that was all in the first period.
So
Georgie was what I was thinking.
Yeah, we've got a goaltending issue without a doubt. That's Colorado's biggest flaw right now is our goaltending.
Mm-hmm.
George will hit and miss. We acquired him from the Rangers a little while ago, and he's been solid, but with the Rangers, he was never meant to be, the primary starter that you're trotting out there 60 games for Colorado tried to make.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a bit tough for us, but we're also the team that's come back from the most 3-0 deficits in NHL history in one season. So my whole thought process going into the second period was, okay, if Georgie doesn't let up another one before we get on the board, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully we got guys that score in bunches. We have 5 guys that realistically anytime they're on the ice are really dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 of those 5 scored.
That's whenever the Avalanche starts in the second period. Valeri Nushishkin. Am I pronouncing that right? Nushishkin?
Good job. Nishushkin, yeah, he's a big Russian, so it's harder to pronounce.
Yeah, okay, Nishushkin. Scored, and that's what started the Avalanche. So they got one on the board. Kel McCarr scored another goal, making it 3-2 Stars. And then in the third period, Nathan McKinnon scored, making it tied all 3-3. So what was y'all mindset then when it's tied 3-3?
You know, a popular axiom in sports is that defense travels.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that world-class talent travels as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a team that has won a cup recently, the year before last, they're not concerned. They're not worried heading into the locker room in between periods. I don't believe. Like, do they have to go on the attack? Yes, absolutely. But they show that they still have a lot of fight left. They're a team that can be scrappy, and when they play like that, they're going to be very tough for any team to beat.
Yeah, for sure. And that definitely proved true in game one. And at that point, I was hella pissed off. Like, y'all up 3-0, like, and then they come back. The Avalanche comes back. Y'all can't find a way to score one more goal. But like you said, the veteran mentality where, you have guys that have been on the team, have that championship mentality, and it definitely showed. And then in overtime, Miles Wood scored the game-winning goal. And like both teams were back and forth, had opportunities to score, good defense, good goalkeeping, but then something had to give. So, yeah, I was dejected because not only did the Stars lose, but my Mavs also lost that same night. So, yeah, it sucked ass for me that night.
That's a rough night for Dallas sports fans for sure. Sorry to be one of the teams that handed you a loss.
Yeah, I had money on the Dallas Mavericks that night. I love Luka. I'm a big fan of Luka. That was hard for me to see the Mavs lose. I like the Mavs a little bit here.
Have you guys been watching this series though? It's really interesting. Like, I feel like the Mavs are playing better without Luka. Like, where the team kind of seems like they're jiving a little bit more. Esley, have you noticed that at all watching the games?
I actually haven't. I haven't noticed that. What I have noticed is that Luka, whenever he's not efficient, he needs to defer to Kyrie more so that Kyrie can get started earlier. Because lately what I've been realizing is Kyrie gets going in the third quarter and then really in the fourth quarter. But it depends, because if Luka is cooking early and he gets on a roll early, then everything's all good. But if he starts getting inefficient, starts missing too many shots, then it kind of throws some things off. And it seems like everybody kind of follows suit with Luka. Not the role players aren't making as many shots, and it was just bad in game one. But luckily, game two we bounced back.
Yeah.
Game two, Stars and Avalanche. My Stars won 5-3. In the first period, Miro Heiskanen scored. Got things started off 1-0. In the second period, Rope Hintz scored, making it 2-0. Miro Heiskanen scored again, 3-0. And then right after that, Tyler Seguin, 4-0. Now, so y'all are now at this point, y'all are down one more goal than y'all were in game one. And what were y'all thinking then? Like, is this insurmountable or can we come back?
At that point, 4 goals is just too hard to believe. I kind of saw it going the way that it ended up going. But when it gets to 4-0, you're just like, even with this team, with the firepower we do have, our top 6 was not playing well on the forward side. McKinnon looked a little disinterested at points. McCarr was having a rough game. And the guy who was drafted one spot above him in Heiskanen already had 2 goals. I figured at that point it was like, okay, we're going to go back to Denver 1-1.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Like, it's got to be over. Like, 4-0, like, ain't no way. They might score 1 or 2 goals, but, like, ain't no way that they're even going to come close.
This was easily the sloppiest game of this postseason for the Avs. I mean, you look at the penalties alone. We didn't deserve to win this game.
You could definitely tell me about some more of the details because I was kind of distracted. I was watching. I had to like shift between the Mavs and the Stars. They were playing at the same time, So
that's rough, man.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Yeah, I wish they could have played at different times, but it is a unique sports experience whenever they play at the same time. Yoel Kiviranta started off the scoring, and once again the Avalanche started for the Avs. And he was with us whenever the Stars beat y'all in that COVID year. It was just kind of crazy, seeing him score for y'all against us. And then Brandon Duhaime, he scored, making it 4-2. At this point, I was like, okay, I'm scared. I'm officially scared because we saw what happened in game 1. I'm scared. Valeri Nishushkin scored again, making it 4-3. At that point, I was like, we gonna blow it. It's gonna happen again. And then we go down 0-2. So at that point, when it was 4-3, what was y'all thinking?
Well, we had that power play with 3 minutes and I think like 45 seconds remaining.
That's right.
And it was like, oh my gosh, like this could actually happen. Like we could tie this. But then we decided to pull the goalie and the Stars ended up icing it with that empty net goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, in my head, I really felt like we had a chance to go into overtime again, where I feel like, our top lines are a little bit better than Dallas's top lines. I think your depth may be a little bit stronger, but our top lines are better than Dallas's. So if we head into overtime, we're probably going to be scoring.
Yeah. I was nervous because, especially like you said on that power play, and then it became 6-on-4. So I was like, oh, it's almost like a double power play, even with the empty net. But luckily, as you mentioned, that open net goal, and we ended up pulling away 5-3. So yeah, thank goodness that we get to go to Colorado 1-1.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun series. We obviously broke down, kind of where we're thinking this is going to go. But coming back 1-1, it's going to be a great season or a great series, and I honestly think that whoever wins this series will be playing for the Stanley Cup in representing the Western Conference.
Okay.
I don't think the other series has a team that can do it. I think it's either going to be Avs Stars, and one of us is going to have an extended season past this.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's going to go 7, honestly. Like that's just my feelings. It's the way that both teams have been playing, it's going to go 7. And I thought that this was my thinking whenever we beat the Golden Knights. I thought that, okay, once we beat the defending champs, and it's crazy because we're the 1 seed, they were the 8th seed, right? They didn't play like an 8th seed, and that went 7. We get the 1 seed, and our reward is playing the defending champs that are over here playing like they're the 2 seed or something like that. So
that's not on y'all. That's not on y'all.
The Golden Knights do something that I think that they should ban in the NHL with the injury, with the injury designations that they can give people, where they basically offload their salaries off of the salary cap and then reinstate them during the playoff runs. Okay. Their captain was out all season, then it suddenly can play 110% in the playoffs.
Damn.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because in the NHL, salary caps do not matter when you get to the playoffs. Just whoever's healthy can play. So what they're doing is circumventing that. Stone, their captain, did have surgery, but he was able to come back, play at 110%. They put Tomas Hertl that they acquired in a trade right on LTIR right when he got there, and he was playing all year from San Jose. But they just kind of stash these guys and then get a super human lineup when they go play in the playoffs.
That's crazy. Y'all enlighten me. So yeah, I thought that once we get past the Golden Knights, okay, we should win every series at least in 6 games or more. Like that's our biggest hurdle. But nope, the Avalanche, y'all ain't nothing to play with.
No,
I think that. Oh, you go ahead, Scotty.
Yeah, we have a really good squad. We got Nathan McKinnon, who's probably going to join Joker this year as an MVP in Denver.
Okay.
He had 140 points. So points in hockey, for those that may not be diehard hockey fans, are goals, assists, and second assists. So a secondary assist, this is the only sport that also registers that, but you pass to the guy who passes to the guy that scores.
Okay, yeah.
And McKinnon's got 140 points on the year. We've got Mikko Rantanen right behind him, who's got 104 points on the year. And then Cale Makar, 90 points for a defenseman. It's just absolutely absurd. Our high-end talent is really, really good. And we've had a lot of injuries this year. You know, we're missing Gabe Landeskog still, who's our captain. He played on the top three. He's been hurt, honestly, since the bubble year. He got his patella cut by Cale Makar's skate. That might have been the year after the bubble, but he hasn't played a ton since. He was with us on the cup run, but then he had to get more serious surgery. Actually, the same surgery as Derek Rose back in the day. So we're missing him. We're missing Jonathan Drouin right now, who's skating again. He's our fourth highest in points on the team, so he's going to be coming back potentially this series. And then we're missing Logan O'Connor, who, while he's a fourth liner, he provides scoring and depth and a gritty attitude. We're starting to see guys get healthy. Logan O'Connor and Gabe won't be back, but we've got some guns that, honestly, I think during the regular season we took our foot off the gas at points, and that's how we ended up where we did in the seeding.
Okay, all right. Who do y'all have winning this series, and how many games?
Yeah, I personally had Avs in 6.
Okay.
Just because of our top end talent. You know, we play a faster game than almost any other team in the NHL outside of maybe the New York Rangers. We can outskate teams. That's the biggest thing. Plus, playing in Denver, it's hard, man. We're at a mile high, and people get exhausted. That said, I could see this going 7, and it really comes down to goaltending. Jake Ottinger versus, you know, Alexander Georgiev.
True.
I give that to Otter 10 times out of 10 right now.
Yeah.
Just with where they're at in their career. So I can see it going 7 if we get goalied, but stealing game 1 on the road was huge for us, and that's why my prediction is Avs in 6.
Okay.
If we come back to Denver down 2-0, I see it going 7 without a doubt.
And I think that this all hinges on what happens in game 3. If the Stars steal 1 in game 3, the Stars will win in 7.
Okay.
But if the Avs win game 3, I think they're going to feel like they have enough momentum that game 5 really isn't going to matter all that much because we'll win games 3 and 4, just get out of Dallas healthy, come back home, and then win in 6. Okay. So really the game they play on Saturday, right? Game 3? I
believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Is really going to be the game that determines what's going to happen the rest of this series.
Yeah, it's always those odd numbered games that like seem like pivotal, like it can shift the momentum. So yeah,
absolutely.
Good luck to y'all the rest of the series. While y'all are here, let me get y'all's input on other Denver sports. So obviously the Denver Nuggets are down 0-2 at this time of recording, Friday afternoon. I mean, I know they're about to play tonight, but what y'all think of that series? How do y'all think that the rest of that's going to go?
I think that the Timberwolves are just getting hot at the exact right time, that they're going to be tough to beat the rest of the way, even if they end up playing the Celtics or the Knicks in the NBA Finals. They're just they are a team on a mission right now with an underrated player in Anthony Edwards. I mean, I truly think that he is going to be in the MVP conversation moving forward after seeing what he's done to the current MVP in Nikola Jokic this series and the playoffs.
Yeah, I think after we lost game 1, we both sat there on our pod and said probably T-Wolves in 6. We thought we would win game 2 and that we would come out in a much stronger way. We got absolutely destroyed in game 2. So this could be curtains for the Nuggets after tonight, as we're still awaiting tip-off even. But Jamal Murray's been MIA this series. He's scored, I think, 2 points in the first half of each game combined.
That's crazy.
And you can't have, your number 2 guy only putting up 2 points in the first half, especially against a team like Minnesota. So I think that the Nuggets have some big questions answered. And losing Bruce Brown after last year, he was such an integral part of that championship run that we went on. We haven't really had the ability to replace it. So it's interesting, and going up against 2 7-footers and Big Cat and God, what's his name?
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
COVID.
Started the NBA and NHL shutdown. That asshole. But we, having those 2 7-footers, and Gobert is an excellent defender on Jokic. He really matches his game, so that makes it tough. And then Big Cat owns AD right now, or Aaron Gordon, AG.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it really surprised me. Like down 0-2, they just punched Denver in the mouth. Obviously, Anthony Edwards has been going off. His game is, not saying he's Jordan, but like his game, the way that he plays, it's comparable to Jordan. And then obviously his facial features too. That doesn't help. But it's crazy how well they match up against Denver. Like nobody would have ever, because I thought Denver was the front. They were going to make it back to the finals. That was my thinking. And y'all remember that game where Kyrie had that left-handed buzzer beater? Sorry to throw it back in y'all's face, but that's the only game that we won against y'all all season long. And then even then, we were up like 10, 12 points, and then y'all still came back, and it took that buzzer beater to beat y'all. So that's why I think in a 7-game series, Dallas, we're not beating the Nuggets. So that's why I say I'd rather face the Timberwolves.
That's fair. We've been off our game in the playoffs. I mean, the Lakers, that shouldn't have been 5. That should have been 4.
Right.
The Lakers are
Right.
pretty cashed. So, and we had to come back from being down, 20 plus points in a couple games that series. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there, but I don't have a lot of faith in defending our title this year.
Yeah. Now that y'all down 0-2. Yeah. And
yeah.
And congratulations on y'all's man, Joker, for winning MVP. Even though I thought, did y'all really think that he deserved it?
This is an interesting conversation for sure. Out of any year in the NBA, I think that there is more debate than there really has ever been, at least with the other 2 for Jokic. I think the first 2 that he won, he hands down deserved to win.
Agreed.
This third one, though, I think was maybe a little bit of an apology for them not giving it to him last season when they gave it to Joel Embiid, who is afraid to play Joker in Denver and somehow has an injury every single time he comes to Denver and just doesn't play him. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Joel Embiid's
a fraud. Too. He's a fraud, dude. That guy, he lost in Boulder when he was a KU with Wiggins on that roster. That was the KU Embiid Wiggins year. They came into Boulder. They lost on a buzzer beater.
I mascotted that game.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, we literally dragged him off the floor at the end of that game because we rushed the court and the air just went out of the building. It was insane. But Embiid's afraid to play in Colorado, man. He can't play at a mile high. He's a fraud.
Yeah.
So I think it was an apology.
Damn.
I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was an excellent player this year. Honestly, I thought Luka. We talked about this last night where we were just dropping Luka stats from this year. That's an incredible season.
Yeah.
Those 2 guys had a very legitimate argument and a very legitimate reason to not be okay with Joker winning. But Joel Embiid shouldn't have won it over Joker last year. So we'll take the apology MVP.
All right.
Yeah. That's what we're calling this one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I see y'all's point of view. So, but I would say I thought that Luka deserved it, but it seemed like it was either SGA or Jokic in the media and just in the NBA in general. So like Luka wasn't even close to winning this, which I thought was BS because it's like Jokic had like a quiet MVP year. Both at least SGA and Luka all year long, they were having big MVP type moments. Obviously the Luka 73 game, 50 on Christmas. God, yeah. Luka at one point in after the trade deadline, he went like 6 straight games having a 30 point plus triple double. SGA, he's been doing his thing and led his team to the first seed. So if it didn't go to Luka, which I knew it wasn't based on how the national media was talking, I thought it would have went to SGA, but lo and behold, Jokic got it. And like Shaq said on the NBA, on Inside the NBA, I thought that it should have went to at least SGA over Jokic. But
I completely agree with you. I, even as a Denver fan, I don't think that this was the year that Jokic deserved it out of the last 4 seasons.
Mhm.
But again, I really do think that there is something to be said about like when they gave that MVP to Joel Embiid last year. I think they knew that they did Jokic wrong, and the fact like that it was close enough this season where they could somewhat justify giving it to him. It's an apology MVP.
Yeah. Agreed.
I could have justified Luka a lot easier than SGA even, just because I mean the dude averaged 34 and 10.
Yeah,
that's just
and led the league in scoring.
Yeah, he had an MVP caliber year.
Yeah.
So I didn't get where the lack of Luka hype around MVP was from the national media, but those who know ball knew that Luka probably should have won it this year, to be perfectly honest.
And then y'all's Denver Broncos. Y'all kind of been suffering. Y'all tried the Russell Wilson experiment. Let Russ cook. He burnt down the restaurant. He burnt down the building. He burnt down Mile High. He did, albeit he did play better last season, and it was kind of an unfair situation with Sean Payton. That wasn't his guy. So, he got Russ out of there. So now y'all are stuck with, I don't even know who at quarterback. Because y'all got
Bo Nix. Zach Wilson.
And Jarrett
Stidham. There you go. Y'all could probably make the same prediction. I think that Bo Nix is going to be the starting quarterback because we already know what Zach Wilson is, and he wasn't good enough for the Jets. So he's probably going to be the backup. And if Bo Nix struggles, then you can, throw in Zach Wilson. I could even argue that it might be the other way around. Zach Wilson starts, Bo Nix learns. Zach Wilson struggles, throw in Bo Nix.
It's going to be interesting to see which way Coach Payton goes with this, because I think you could go either of those 2 ways for sure. Because if the offense is struggling early and it's Zach Wilson in, then you can just be like, all right, well, we suck anyways. Let's see what we have in Bo Nix, and then trot him out there. And even if he does suck, they sucked anyways, and we have a higher first-round draft pick next year.
Okay.
At least our draft picks are back after that Russell Wilson trade. At least we're finally drafting in the first round again.
Yeah, true.
I'm a lot more pessimistic than D-Train is on Broncos right now. Just kind of our
and I'm pretty negative.
Yeah. He's pretty negative for what I've seen from him, and I'm even more negative. I don't think Bo Nix is the fix. I don't think he's the guy. We also have like the frattiest looking QB room in the NFL, which I don't love. And we had to hide our moms when Zach Wilson got into town, which also is great.
MILF Hunter.
But, dude, guy loves a good cougar. Got to watch out for him.
Got that
Crazy.
dog in him.
Yup.
Yeah. But Bo, I just don't know if Bo has the fastest processor and if he's able to run the Sean Payton offense. Also, I mean, he's the 6th quarterback off the board. There aren't many 6 quarterbacks picked that end up having a tremendous career outside of 84 with I think it was Dan Marino was the 6 off. So I'm not high on Bo. I'm not high on Sean Payton right now. When Russ was rolling and we were on that little winning streak that we had last year, we were establishing a run game. We were playing more to Russ's strengths of getting in the play action and genuinely making teams get some players in the box.
Yeah.
We went away from that, and that's when we started losing again.
Okay.
So I'm not as high on Sean Payton right now as I was when we hired him. I can't believe I'm going to say these words. It would be a lot easier to be a Cowboys fan right now than a Broncos fan.
I feel that because of the mainly the regular season success, because you have to do good in the regular season before you even get into the postseason. So yeah,
I cannot believe that you said that, Scotty L. You're calling yourself a Bronco fan. Come on, man.
I'm saying it's easier to be a Cowboys fan right now because at least Dak Prescott is great in the regular season.
Yeah, and at least we get 12 wins and automatically get in the playoffs. I think that Sean Payton is actually under a lot of pressure, so he's actually trying to like get into the postseason this season. Cause like, okay, Sean Payton, you shipped your guy out of there, so now what you finna do? Oh, this your plan? You know, draft a QB and then Zach Wilson. Okay, all right, you got Russ Wilson out of there, so now it's the pressure's on Sean Payton more than anybody else in Denver. So
and then I personally feel that, I don't know if you saw what was happening after the draft, but Adam Schefter was tweeting all these stories about Bo Nix and how the Broncos met with him and he learned their playbook within a matter of minutes and was able to dissect and talk about the playbook with Sean Payton and all this stuff. My tinfoil hat theory here is what everybody forgets is that Adam Schefter got his start in Denver. And I'm pretty sure that the Denver Broncos called in a favor from one of their old pundits and said, hey, we're going to get absolutely buried for taking Bo Nix at 12. Do you think that you could put out a good story? Here's a fake story for you to run and see how it goes.
So have you actually heard that, or that's just your tinfoil hat?
That's my tinfoil hat.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Schefter still has love for the Broncos in the city of Denver because he started with the Denver Post, and his first NFL beat was the Broncos.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
I don't think he would shit on us, but he might.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Reporters that cover their teams, and they always are more sympathetic and apologetic to their teams. I can relate with Jane Slater. She on the NFL Network. Yeah, good luck to y'all's Broncos. Those uniforms look ugly, by the way.
They're gross, horrible. Except the orange. The throwbacks are tight.
Here's the thing: in Denver, all we want is that throwback. We just want the old school Denver D on the side of the helmet.
Yeah.
And instead they go and they fucked it up. Like there's just no other way to put it. Nike destroyed us.
Yeah, y'all looking like Blue Mountain State. Uniforms and because that's why I'm glad that even with the way that the Cowboys organization is run, at least when it comes to staying classy, we're one of those organizations that will never change their uniforms, and that's what I love about us. So
if y'all ever did, I expect the city of Dallas to burn down.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I know y'all stay having beef with the Colorado Rockies.
Oh my gosh, man. Boycott opening day. Tell everybody down in Texas, 2025, we were boycotting the Monfort ownership and the Colorado Rockies. Nobody go to the game. We have to send a message. And that's the one thing that's going to be able to do that is we have to boycott opening day. But this is pretty apropos. I didn't realize this until now, but the Rangers and the Rockies are playing tonight.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Well, I'll be watching that game then. Because
I won't. Stars I'm boycotting.
Yeah, we don't watch the Rockies here in Denver, man. They have like a decent attendance just because the ballpark is amazing.
Yeah.
Like if you ever come up to Denver, you gotta hit Coors Field. It's a great ballpark.
Okay.
Everything else on the field is just shit. Like it's literally just a bar. It's a sick bar where baseball is being played. Like
I see.
In the area.
Yeah, and I heard that like it's easier to hit more home runs because of the elevation.
Yeah. So it is, they've taken steps to like improve that. They put in a humidor like you would have for cigars. They put that into the stadium where they store all the baseballs that are being played to try and negate that fact. You know, there have been more home runs hit at New Yankee Stadium since it's been open than Coors Field.
Okay. All right.
In that same time frame. So it's kind of that old myth, and we've only had like 2 players that are really deserving the Hall of Fame, maybe 3 that they use that against. They finally got in Todd Helton and Larry Walker.
Yeah,
but you see a lot of home runs here, of course. Okay. You do.
All right, that's what's up.
That's probably because our pitchers suck, though. So
yeah, it's mostly that.
Thank you all for watching this episode of the Banganator Podcast. Please like and subscribe on the Banganator Podcast Instagram. On YouTube, follow me on Instagram and the Banganator Pod _4 on the Twitter X. And my guys, D-Train and Scotty L from the Out of Office Bros podcast. Thank y'all so much for hopping on. Please follow them on Instagram and watch their podcast. And thank y'all for coming on to my podcast.
Thank you for having us. We loved it. We love talking some Colorado and Dallas sports. It's fun.
Hell yeah.
We'll be on anytime, man. We'll have to have you out in Colorado sometime.
Appreciate it. Hey, if I ever go out there, I'm definitely hit y'all up so we can, just hang out, whatever.
Chop it up.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, thank y'all and go Stars.
Go Avs.
All the small things, true care, true brings.
The Banganator podcast is brought to you by Scotty, diehard fan of the Dallas Cowboys since 1997. How about them Cowboys?